strategies. Either or is fine. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Ali. I am a trained speech language pathologist and audiologist. I'm also a business coach, a brand strategist, and I love to support entrepreneurs and professionals in up leveling their brand in ways that are simple and that is authentic to who they are and that is relatable to who they're here to serve with more ease, right? So the goal of me sharing some strategies with you is so that it can feel like it's doable. It doesn't feel like it's super hard for us to do. It doesn't feel like if it's too complicated, but it's something that any and everyone can do, especially if you have a business or want to speak in front of people or don't want to speak in front of people but have to speak in front of people. I remember the first time when I was with one of my coach mentors, my sister mentor, I like to say Lisa Nichols, and we were in her experience that she was having, and she asked the question, "Who in here is a speaker?" And folks looked at each other and they're like, "I'm not a speaker. I got a business, but I'm not a speaker." And she was like, "If you have a business, then you are a speaker." So the reason this resonates with me is because many of us run from speaking because we don't like all the attention on us, or we have fear of public speaking, or even when we're speaking, sometimes we're not connecting with people nor being very clear enough for them to understand what our position is, our point is, the reason why we're even opening up our mouth. So I wanted to just drop in here and share skills and strategies with you throughout time. Yesterday I had my visibility masterclass, and in that process, one of these tools came up, and I wanted to just come back and just zoom in on you and let this person know I'll call you back. Zoom in on you just so that you can use these strategies and feel more confidence when you speak and feel more confidence showing up as a speaker, as a CEO, as a professional. We all at some point have to open our mouth and speak in front of people. So the first thing we have to know is stop being so fearful of messing up. And I shared this a lot before in another live I did before. The nerves that we have is bigger than how people are going to feel on the other side. We're usually thinking, hi Zachary, we're usually thinking that people on the other side are gonna be judging us and are gonna be looking for us to do something wrong. Thank you for subscribing. And because of that, we don't open our mouths because we're constantly thinking and worried of what others are gonna say. So one thing I told myself, especially as a speech pathologist, but when I had to speak and read my books and share my books, and literally share stories that were sometimes scary for me, right? Because now here I am in the most vulnerable place. For those who do not know, I'm an autism mom. I wrote a book, All Mason Gift, The Journey to Autism Acceptance, over 8 years ago. And that's what really catapulted my business. But it wasn't only just being an author of the book, it's the fact that I had to go out there now and sign books and share books and read in front of people and talk in front of people. Now, I'm a speech language pathologist before then, but being a speech language pathologist and helping people speaking is different when you got to be the one standing up in front of the audience and sharing the most vulnerable part of your life. It's okay to share it in a book, but when you got to speak it and now share the stories and now go through some of the things, it can get super intimidating. So once again, guys, in order for you guys to put your comments, you got to subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe and pass this on. So one thing I do to avoid the fear of speaking is first owning my own courage and saying, I have a message inside of me. I have a message to share, and I am not responsible for those who feel on the other end. I'm not responsible for if they're going to judge me. I'm not responsible for if they're going to have their thoughts on me, because regardless or not, people are going to have their thoughts. Be in charge of whatever you have to share. So if I have a book and I'm sharing the message, if I am a speaker and I have to speak in front of an audience, I tap in first to myself and I tap into my message, and I don't get so connected to if I mess up. So if I mess up, I will do a laugh and I will continue going. So I'll acknowledge it within myself, like, oh, yep, there goes that mess up. But then I will continue going, right? It doesn't mean I have to acknowledge it to the audience. There've been times I've acknowledged it, right? Coming from a Caribbean background, sometimes the words that I say may not correspond to the American dialect and the pronunciations on certain words. So when I say things and I'm like, ooh, I heard my accent and I didn't say it the exact same way that this crowd may understand, but I'm not going to downplay the message that I have inside of that. Neither am I going to let it stop me from opening up my mouth and sharing the message. So be more connected to your message and your purpose than their responses. All right, so that should help you. And if it doesn't, we can talk other strategies of public speaking in front of people. There's a whole bunch more that I can share with you. The second thing I like to share is when we're speaking, be aware of what your key points are going to be, right? Before you open your mouth, this is the part where I like to say, think before you speak. So know what are your key points. What are your three top key points that you want to get or want to share before you open your mouth? And for one of those key points, happy birthday to my brother, happy birthday, Dixon. And for one of those key points, you want, Mom, get back in there and go eat. For one of those key points, you want to be able to share a story, right? Something that correlates and corresponds to other people out there. So I shared my story just now about when I began to hear that everyone has to speak. As a CEO, as an entrepreneur, we're all speakers. So that was a quick story that led into me explaining why I speak more and why I share more about speaking. So have a story and just be clear about what you're going to be saying before you open your mouth. So as I'm getting to come on live and I'm thinking about what is my topic I'm going to speak of today, whether it's planned or whether it's intuitive, before I press play, I say to myself, okay, what are my top 3 tips? Great. Was Zumba fun? What are my top 3 tips that I want to share when I open my mouth? And if it's something that resonates with you, if it's something that's real, if it's something that you've experienced, then you want to make sure either you jot it down on a piece of paper or you hold it in your head. Like, these are the 3 things I want to make sure I share before I get off. So it keeps you structured, right, in what you have to say. When you begin to feel more structured, you begin to feel more connected to what you have to say or what you're going to be saying or your message, then the fear of not knowing or not being sure and all that kind of stuff that shows up for a lot of us, it will not happen because we got the 3 things. We know we're going to say it, we know we're going to get it, and we know we're going to stay on topic. Third thing I like to mention while I was talking about this, be honorable of time. Be honorable of time, especially if you're speaking in front of an audience, if you're speaking at a conference, if you're speaking in front of people that you know they're timed by. So, for example, when I know I come live for my YouTube sessions, I know I like to come with about 10 minutes or so. This is a nice, quick, straight in 3 tips, help you with communication strategies, help you with the speech strategies. I know my 3 things. I know my story. I look at my time. So I know right now I'm nearing that 8-minute mark. So if I want to honor time, and I believe all speakers should, like, really have a better relationship with time, as opposed to just going and speaking forever and just going on and not taking any note of what is a time factor that you want to have your message in. When I teach a class, if I teach a master class, I'm clear. This is 60 minutes master class. This is 60 minutes of content I want to make sure I'm sharing with people. I'm going to divide it here. I'm going to break it down here and just get myself into a rhythm of what does 60 minutes look like if I'm going to be teaching this class, and how do I regulate my cadence? When do I know when to go fast? When do I know when to slow it down? And some things require practice. Some things require doing it a few times, which is why I always tell my clients, do it again and do it again and do it again. If you're fearful of speaking, don't stop. You got to do it again and do it again. And if you feel comfortable, do it in spaces that you feel more comfortable in. Like, I started speaking in my mama's basement, right? When there's only 1 or 2 other people there. And then over time, developing myself and doing it again and doing it again, the rooms got bigger, and then the rooms got bigger. And then all of a sudden I'm being featured in front of millions of people. But I still pretend as if I'm in the basement still speaking to the 2 people, right? But I keep the cadence and I keep practicing and I keep going over it. And even within those spaces, when I had to speak on Tony Robbins' stage or speak on the stages with Steve Harvey or speak in other spaces where major people were going to be speaking on that same platform, I wanted to come off as a professional. I didn't want to be the one that's not regarding time. And even if I mess up with my words, I want to be cognizant of the message that I have to give. And even in answering a 1 minute or 2 minute or 3 minute, if we're doing a television interview, we know those are timed. So we still want to make sure we're managing our time. So these tools I'm sharing with you, these speaking strategies I'm sharing with you, come back and thank me later. Now, if you need more support, you need more internal support, one-on-one support, then reach out to me. Get access to my calendar. Let me know if you need access to my calendar so we can get you through these blocks, so you can get out there and get some visibility to your brand. You can't build your visibility to your brand if you're not talking about it, and if you're afraid to be speaking about it on any platform. You don't got to do it alone. There's help out here for you. I hope you received that. That was the message I had for you guys today. It was on my spirit. So I just stopped and I said, let me do my YouTube time. I've been trying to do at least 10 minutes every day, getting super intentional with developing my channel and just coming out here and sharing what I know, being super intentional about helping my CEOs on branding and marketing and their content and the things that they know that we need to grow our business effectively. So I hope you use these strategies and let me know which one resonates the most with you. Have a blessed and amazing day. Take care. 10 minutes and change. I did it.